You're listening to Hot Topics on Good Mix Radio, hosted by Mike Melody and Sheila Harmony. And each week, they dive into the top trends, pop culture moments, and viral stories dominating the web. They unpack the chaos with humor, sharp takes, and insights you won't find anywhere else.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We try to cut through all the noise here, really get to the heart of what's shaping things. And if it feels like the global pace is just constantly picking up, well, you're not wrong. Staying truly informed, not just sort of updated, it feels more important than ever. So our mission today, like always, is to take this stack of sources, articles, notes, data, and pull out the key insights for you. Think of it as your shortcut to being genuinely clued in without getting totally overwhelmed. And this week, wow, the sources show such a mix. We've got high-stakes global meetings, a major weather event, and then these really interesting digital trends bubbling up. It's quite the snapshot.
It really is remarkable, isn't it, how that digital pulse seems to dictate so much of what grabs our collective attention now. These topics, they don't just break on the evening news anymore. They ignite. Through social media, online news, influencers jumping in, and suddenly there's this shared interest that just hops across borders, makes everything feel, well, very connected.
Right. Sure.
Okay, so let's dive in. Kicking things off, and this is a big one according to our sources, that meeting between Vladimir Putin and President Trump, this wasn't just, another date on the calendar. It immediately dominated global headlines. Huge interest, loads of analysis about what it means for, well, everything. And zooming out a bit, you have to see the timing. This meeting is happening against a backdrop of, well, significant shifts in global politics. There are intense diplomatic efforts underway trying to tackle really tough issues, trade wars, ongoing security headaches, the climate crisis. It's a lot. And to really get the significance, you need that historical context of U.S.-Russia relations. It's complicated. This is just the latest chapter,
Absolutely. And our sources, they detailed some of the key things reportedly discussed. Trade deals, security stuff, even climate change initiatives. The official line was, of course, fostering cooperation, trying to find common ground, which, given the history, is a huge task in itself. But the real impact of these meetings, often it's about the signaling, isn't it? How it subtly shifts things, maybe more than any specific agreement.
Exactly. And that's why this meeting trended so hard. The potential it has to sort of reshape global politics and economies is just massive. Look at the reactions just within the U.S. Our sources show it was all over the place, some praising it good to talk, necessary step, others slamming it weakness, legitimizing Russia, sentiment analysis online, highly polarized as you'd expect. You see spikes in things like cautious optimism from some groups, but then deep skepticism from others. It really splits opinion. And then there's the whole layer of the election interference debates hanging over it all, which just fuels calls for, total transparency.
Yeah, you can just see how these things explode outwards. It lands right in your newsfeed almost instantly. The news coverage metrics spiked dramatically. Readership, viewership, all of it. And online, the buzz was intense. Analysts, regular folks, everyone weighing in.
And internationally, the stakes feel just as high, maybe higher. This meeting directly shapes that U.S.-Russia relationship going forward, and that has huge knock-on effects for international security, arms control, regional conflicts, you name it, and global economic stability, too. Other countries aren't just passively watching. They're actively analyzing, looking for shifts, trying to figure out what it means for their relationships. It's like a global chess game.
Mm-hmm. And while all that human drama unfolds, our sources show nature reminding us of its own power. A totally different kind of global impact, but maybe just as profound. All eyes turned this week to Hurricane Erin, a major, major weather event.
Yeah, as of our sources, Erin's a strong Category 2. Packing winds around, 105 miles per hour. And its projected path, that's the real worry. Looks like it could hit the southeastern U.S. within maybe the next 48 hours. The National Hurricane Center advisories were pretty blunt. They said Hurricane Erin's path is expected to continue northwestward, potentially bringing heavy rainfall, life-threatening storm surge, and strong winds. The potential impact zone looks really wide. It's critical.
And that immediately triggers the preparations, right? Sources detail these widespread measures kicking in. Hurricane watches, warnings are up, people being told, secure your homes, stock up food, water, batteries for radios, flashlights, and crucially, be ready to evacuate. Like right away if the call comes. These aren't just suggestions, they're lifelines.
And thinking about why Erin is trending so much. It's not just a weather report, is it? Obviously, there's the immediate threat, the potential for serious damage, disruption. One meteorologist we saw quoted put it starkly, said something like, the impact could be felt across a wide area, a critical event for many communities. But beyond that, it immediately sparks the climate change conversation again. People asking, is this linked? Are storms getting worse, more frequent? And historically, August is a peak month for Atlantic hurricanes. You can't help but think back to past events like Katrina in 2005. It gives a grim context.
It's hard not to make that connection, yeah. Our sources definitely highlighted climate scientists linking warmer oceans to potentially stronger storms. There was a quote from a leading expert saying something like, the frequency and intensity expected to continue changing as global temperatures rise. It really underscores the need for ongoing research, for adaptation strategies. It feels urgent. This isn't just about one storm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which brings it all back to public safety being paramount. We saw a quote from a local official basically saying, "Safety is our top priority. We urge everyone on the path to take precautions, follow orders, stay informed."
Yeah.
It really drives home how these huge global climate shifts can directly impact you, your community, your safety, highlights that vulnerability or connection with nature.
Yeah, that raw power can feel overwhelming. And maybe sometimes, our collective attention looks for an escape or maybe a different kind of reflection in the digital world. Which brings us to the Amazing Digital Circus. Our sources show this animated series is just, a sensation right now. It's grabbing kids, it's grabbing adults. This really unique mix of surreal visuals and surprisingly some real depth.
Well, it's fascinating. What makes it stand out, I think, is that animation style. It's really innovative. It kind of blends traditional drawing with 3D, creates this unique 2.5D look. It feels familiar, but also completely new. And the story, it mixes fantasy, adventure, but there's this slightly unsettling vibe underneath it all. Builds this immersive world that's both fun and a bit weird. The characters are great too, really distinct personalities, and sometimes they wrestle with surprisingly complex stuff. It manages to be funny but also kind of emotionally resonant, tackles big themes like existence, digital life, but keeps it accessible. Our sources point to the creator, Gooseworks, and the production team using some really cutting-edge techniques, virtual production, that sort of thing, really pushing boundaries.
In the spread online, this is where it gets wild. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram engagement is through the roof. It's not just popular, it's become this cultural marker. It's seriously influencing meme culture. Characters, catchphrases are everywhere. Honestly, I feel like I need a crash course just to keep up with the memes coming out of this thing. It's explosive.
It really shows how content that truly engages, especially if it hits that, unique Gen Z aesthetic.
Yeah.
That mix of surreal, maybe slightly dark, but compelling stuff.
Right.
How quickly it can become a shared touchstone online. It doesn't just spread. It kind of reshapes conversations, creates these little digital communities almost overnight. The success of Digital Circus, it feels like it taps into this hunger for something different, something that blurs lines between, kids shows and internet weirdness.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of that kind of collective engagement online, sometimes it centers on individuals, right? Creators building whole communities, which leads us into the gaming world. Our sources flag KreekCraft, a big YouTube gaming personality, really captivating audiences.
Right, KreekCraft. For anyone maybe not deep in the Roblox or Minecraft scenes, he's known for really engaging gaming content. Informative, high quality. He focuses on the big games, what's trending there. His recent videos like Let's Plays of new updates or these big collaborations he does with other YouTubers, they've gone viral. It's really boosted his profile, but also, crucially, kept his existing fan base super loyal. He's kind of a trusted voice for a lot of gamers.
So why KreekCraft? Why now? Sources point to a few things. His consistency, for one, always uploading. Plus, he stays incredibly relevant to what's happening right now in gaming. And he adapts. The landscape changes fast, and he keeps up. Huge audience engagement, too. Fosters that community feel. You see the hashtags, #KreekCraft, #gaming community trending like crazy. The growth stats are impressive.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, KreekCraft's rise really highlights just how much influence individual creators have now. They're shaping digital entertainment in massive ways. It's their authenticity, that direct connection they build. It often drives what's popular way more effectively than traditional marketing. It's about that genuine connection.
Definitely. And speaking of what's popular and driving conversations, let's shift to a gaming franchise. A giant one. Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Our sources show the gaming community is just buzzing about this. The anticipation is at a real fever pitch.
Oh yeah, the official announcement. Predictably huge reaction. They highlighted some new features gamers are really hyped about. Things like a totally revamped multiplayer, new modes, better mechanics, graphics getting a big next-gen boost, aiming for more realism with, ray tracing and stuff, and a big focus on the single-player campaign, again, promising a strong storyline. Plus, there's loads of expectation around smarter AI, more customization, maybe seamless cross-play finally, and bringing back some beloved old game modes. Sounds like Activision's aiming big.
The hype is just intense. It's built on the franchise's history, right? I mean, Call of Duty is legendary, plus months of these little teasers they dropped. And the community itself fuels it, speculating wildly about the plot, multiplayer, DLCs. People are literally going through the official trailer frame by frame, analyzing every detail. It's almost a game before the game.
It does make you ask, though, how does a franchise like COD stay so dominant for so long? Decades now. Industry insights from our sources suggest it's about constant evolution. They keep innovating with gameplay, pushing graphics. Activision's updates are strategic. And crucially, its role in esports, the Call of Duty League, is huge, and its massive presence on streaming platforms like Twitch. Millions watch COD streams daily. That keeps the cycle of hype and engagement going. It's more than a game. It's a cultural fixture.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Diplomacy, hurricanes, digital circuses, gaming phenomenons. What does it all mean when you put it together? It's this really diverse snapshot of just 1 week in August, but it feels interconnected somehow.
Yeah, and what's fascinating is how the data analysis backs that up. You see clear search volume spikes for things like the Putin Trump meeting, Hurricane Erin, and the new animation. But then you look at the demographic breakdown. It shows different groups engaging differently. The gaming community is all over KreekCraft and Cody 7, while maybe a broader audience is focused on Erin or the diplomatic news. So these diverse trends from global politics to, digital circuses and gaming, they paint this really rich picture of global interests and the different communities driving those interests.
It really is a snapshot of what's shaping that shared global narrative. And it shows how that digital pulse works, how topics catch fire through social media, news, influencers. It's this constantly moving, dynamic flow of information and attention.
Absolutely. And stepping back, understanding these specific topics gives you real insight into the bigger currents, cultural, social, economic, that are defining things right now. You see the connections, how seemingly unrelated things actually link up.
So as you go about your week navigating your own feeds and news sources, maybe think about these currents we talked about. From the high-stakes diplomacy to the immersive digital worlds. How do they not just inform you, but maybe subtly shape your own perspective? What you pay attention to? What other seemingly unrelated trends are you noticing out there? And what might they tell us about where we're all heading?